He took my car. He emptied my savings. He even took her, my cousin, my best friend. But what they didn't expect was that I wouldn't just cry. I would come for everything. If you're into revenge stories that go from betrayal to total domination, then like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story? It's not just personal. It's surgical. And don't forget to comment. What would you do if your fiancé and cousin stabbed you in the back? Now buckle up. They say betrayal feels like a knife in the back. But for me, it was more like getting hit by a train, while smiling, holding flowers, and waiting at the wrong station. My name's Kayla. I'm 29 years old, and I thought I had it all figured out. A stable job as an interior designer. A cozy 2-bedroom apartment in a decent part of town. A fiancé I adored. And a cousin who was more like a sister. His name was Jason. Tall, sharp-dressed, with one of those smiles that could melt suspicion like butter on a hot skillet. We met at a local fundraiser. He bid $3,000 on a silent auction trip to Napa Valley. I thought, wow, generous and good-looking? I didn't know he was just playing the part. And Lexi, my cousin. We weren't just family, we were history. Shared bedrooms growing up, secrets whispered at midnight, tag-teaming holidays with inside jokes and glances that said everything without words. She called me her twin soul. Now, I call her the thief who smiled while slicing my future in half. It happened slowly. At first, everything was perfect. Jason and I were the couple everyone envied. His surprise proposal went viral online. A vineyard, a drone video, a string quartet. Lexi recorded the whole thing. I remember crying as I said yes. I wish I'd known I wasn't the only one he'd proposed to that year. Metaphorically, anyway. Lexi was in the thick of our lives. She offered to help plan the wedding. I live for this stuff, she said. I thought she was just excited for me. She was excited, all right. Just not for me. 3 months before the wedding, Jason suggested we merge our savings. It's just practical, he said. That way we can book everything easily. I hesitated. I don't know. I've worked really hard to build my account up. He smiled that same easy smile. It's our future, babe. You trust me, right? That word. Trust. I wish I could claw it out of my vocabulary. I caved. Transferred over $14,000. My entire savings. A week later, my car started acting weird. Jason said it might be the alternator and offered to take it to his mechanic buddy. That was the last time I saw it. The following Monday, I came home from work, and the apartment was too quiet. Jason's jackets were gone. His watch. His guitar. The framed photos on our shelves were missing. Even the magnet from the Napa trip had vanished from the fridge. My heart started pounding. I opened our shared bank app. Balance, 18 cents. The rage hadn't set in yet. I was still in shock. I called Jason. No answer. Called again. Voicemail. I texted Lexi. Hey, have you talked to Jason today? No reply. I felt my chest tightening. My hands shaking. I called my mom. Called my best friend Liana. Called the police. They told me it was a civil matter. A civil matter. I sat in that apartment, surrounded by the ghost of a life I thought I had, and felt the weight of every decision I'd made. And then, I opened Instagram, and there they were. Jason and Lexi. In Cabo. On a boat. Holding champagne. Lexi's caption, when you stop hiding, you start living. I swear I didn't blink for 30 seconds. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. I stared at the screen like I could unsee it, rewind it, erase it. But there it was. My fiancé. My cousin. My money. My car. All in one photo. I laughed. Loud. Wild. Scary. The kind of laugh that makes people edge away. And then I stood up. Because something inside me snapped. Not in a fragile, broken way. In a forged-in fire, sharpened steel kind of way. Jason once told me, if anyone ever betrayed you, you'd go full supervillain. He wasn't wrong. But here's the thing about villains. The smart ones don't act out of rage. They plan. That night, I made a list. I pulled every bank statement, every receipt, every password I remembered. I dug through emails, found confirmations, documents, login histories. I started building a timeline. A case. Not for court, at least not yet. But for something far more powerful. Reputation. Exposure. Destruction. Because you don't just steal from someone who helped you build your life. And expect her to just watch you live it. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Not that night. Instead, I pulled out my laptop and created a folder titled, Payback Protocol. It wasn't just for catharsis, it was for control. For the first time in days, I felt like I was doing something. Each file, each screenshot, each bank transaction was a brick. I wasn't building a case. I was building a fortress. Jason and Lexi didn't just break my heart. They humiliated me. Publicly. Online. They stole my future, and smiled about it. So, I made a list. Step 1. Legal. I called a lawyer. My friend Liana recommended her cousin, Naomi, sharp as nails and terrifying in a courtroom. Can I sue him? I asked. Naomi didn't sugarcoat. Not easily. Unless he forged your name or committed identity fraud, this falls into civil territory. You could sue for the money, maybe even emotional damages. But it'll take time. I wasn't interested in dragging this through court. I was interested in ruin. Naomi leaned back. If you want to hurt them, don't go legal. Go personal. Hit their image. Hit their reputation. Expose them. I smiled. Step 2. The leak. I created a burner email account. Then I compiled every juicy detail into an anonymous file, text messages between Jason and Lexi while we were engaged. Her calling him, my secret man, and, can't wait to be free. I sent the file to a Jason's company HR department, a Lexi's new job at a wellness spa, a every mutual friend, bridesmaid, and even the wedding photographer. No context. No signature. Just receipts. Step 3. Social silence. I didn't respond to messages. Not yet. I didn't post cryptic quotes. I didn't lash out. I let the screenshots speak for themselves. And the fallout began immediately. By noon the next day, Lexi's Instagram was locked. Her last 3 posts deleted. Jason's LinkedIn profile vanished overnight. The comments section on Lexi's latest photo, still live thanks to a few shares, turned into a battlefield. Friends asking, is this real? Are you serious? Kayla deserved better. It was glorious. 3 days later, Jason texted me. Didn't mean to hurt you. I was confused. I hope you're okay. I stared at the screen. Confused. I screenshot it and saved it to the folder. Lexi's message came next. I never wanted to betray you. Jason lied to both of us. He told me you cheated. I was manipulated too. Too little, too late. I posted both texts, no caption, on my Instagram story. Let the world decide who was confused. That night, my inbox exploded. Support. Outrage. A few mutuals saying they'd suspected something for a while. Even Lexi's mom messaged me. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. The best part? I didn't have to say a word. I let their own words burn them. I spent the next day gathering more. Jason had told me he had a little debt. Turns out, a little meant 5 digits. Credit cards. Evictions. Even a court case from 2 years ago. I found public records. I printed everything. Lexi. Not much better. fired from her last job for boundary violations. I contacted an old coworker who said, "Oh, yeah. She was always drama. Got caught dating a client once." Patterns. These weren't just slip-ups. These were habits. Remember that wedding we planned? Well, I had booked most of it under my name. Venue, florist, caterer. And guess what? Jason never took his name off the shared profile. So I made a few calls. First up, the venue. "Hi, this is Kayla. I need to cancel a booking for the Johnson Rivers wedding." The woman paused. "Oh no, may I ask why?" "There's been a change in the bride and groom," I said dryly. She refunded half the deposit. When I rebooked the space for a charity gala for women's shelters, she waived the rest. "I heard what happened," she whispered. "Good for you." Next, the photographer. "Cancel it," I said. "But keep the date." Another event. Yeah, something better. I called every vendor. One by one. Cancelled the wedding. Replaced it with a night to celebrate independence and power. I even printed invitations. A celebration of self-respect, dress code, confidence. The event page went viral locally. Women shared it with captions like, "Iconic," and "Wish I knew her." I smiled every time a new RSVP came in. Because this wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about turning pain into purpose. And just when I thought I'd finally gotten ahead, Jason showed up. Uninvited. At my door. Holding flowers. Like that would work. It was a Saturday. I was in sweatpants, hair up, binge-watching a documentary on art heists while folding laundry. The doorbell rang. I assumed it was a package. Maybe flowers from a supportive friend? I opened the door. It was Jason. Holding actual flowers. Roses. Of course. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Unshaven. Hair messy. His designer jacket hung awkwardly, like he didn't know how to dress himself anymore. "Kayla," he said, like we were in the middle of a romantic drama. "Please. Can we talk?" I didn't say a word. He shifted on his feet, eyes darting around like he wasn't sure if a camera crew was about to jump out. "I made a mistake," he said. "Lexi and it wasn't what I thought. She's not who I thought she was." I folded my arms. "And I was." He sighed. "I didn't mean for things to go this way." I leaned against the doorframe. "You stole from me. Lied to me. Ran away with my cousin. But sure, let's call it a misunderstanding." Jason stepped forward slightly. "I didn't take everything. I panicked." "You took $14,000, I snapped. "You took my car. You took the life we planned and stomped on it in front of 1,000 Instagram followers." He looked genuinely startled by my tone. Maybe he thought I'd melt at the sight of him. Maybe he thought guilt would make me weak. But he didn't understand something fundamental. He left me with nothing. And that turned out to be the best gift he could have given me. "I want to make it right," he said. "You can't." "I can try." I stepped back and slammed the door in his face. My mom, who was visiting, came around the corner holding a mug of tea. "Was that the snake?" I nodded. She sipped her tea calmly. "Good." I was worried I'd have to throw hot chamomile at someone. We both burst out laughing. For the first time in weeks, it felt good. Really good. I should have known Jason showing up wasn't the end. Lexi had to take her shot too. And true to her nature, she chose the most performative route possible, a YouTube video. Yes. A public my side of the story post, complete with sad piano music, soft focus lighting, and enough fake tears to fill a swimming pool. She started with, "I never meant to hurt anyone. Jason told me lies about Kayla. I didn't know the truth. I was confused. I'm not proud of what happened." She turned off comments, of course. But people still found their way to her DMs. and to mine. I started getting screenshots from friends. Have you seen this? Is she serious? She's blaming you. So, I responded. Not with drama. Not with emotion. But with cold, hard facts. I made a post of my own, just an Instagram carousel of screenshots. Texts between Lexi and Jason, hotel confirmations during our engagement, even a voice memo she accidentally left on my voicemail talking about ditching Kayla soon. I didn't add a caption. Didn't need one. By the end of the day, her video was ratioed into oblivion. Dislikes poured in. People tagged her old bosses, old friends, even her college sorority. Lexi took the video down within 48 hours. But it was too late. The internet doesn't forget. And neither do I. The gala event, once our wedding date, was fast approaching. And instead of white dresses and forced toasts, I had something far more powerful planned. The florist, who had originally been booked for my wedding, offered to donate centerpieces. The photographer offered free headshots for women re-entering the job market. The caterer threw in extra trays. What was meant to be my day with Jason became our day, a day for women who had been betrayed, silenced, overlooked. I gave a speech. Simple. Short. I was supposed to be married today. But instead of saying, I do to someone who lied, I'm saying, I won't, to anyone who tries to tear me down. This is what rebirth looks like. The crowd stood. They clapped. They cried. So did I. But for once, not from heartbreak. From healing. After the event, a local newspaper picked it up. Jilted bride turns wedding into charity gala. My inbox flooded with messages of support from strangers. Other women who'd been scammed. Men who'd lost everything in divorce. People who needed someone to tell them they weren't alone. And I realized, Jason and Lexi took my money, my car, my trust. But they accidentally gave me purpose. And I wasn't done yet. The Monday after the gala, something unexpected landed in my inbox. An email. Subject line, I think we have something in common. It was from a woman named Michelle. She introduced herself as Jason's ex-fiancé. Yes, ex-fiancé. I saw your Instagram post through a mutual friend. I think you deserve to know, he did this to me too. Almost the exact same thing. Took my savings, ghosted, lied about everything. Even the job. I felt my stomach turn. Michelle and I weren't the only ones either, apparently. She gave me 2 more names. 2 more women. Both had been scammed by Jason in the last 5 years. Each story echoed the same themes: charm, speed, financial merging, sudden disappearance. Jason wasn't just a bad boyfriend or selfish liar. He was running a long con. That changed everything. What I thought was personal betrayal became part of a pattern. He was a serial scammer. Michelle and I decided to meet for coffee. She brought a binder of notes. I brought a flash drive full of receipts. We compared timelines, credit card transactions, IP addresses, and together, we realized we had enough evidence to go beyond revenge. We could build a case. Michelle knew a consumer rights lawyer who'd helped her with fraud recovery after Jason. We reached out. And for once, the universe delivered. Her name was Amber. Sharp, relentless, and angry on our behalf. Multiple victims. Patterned behavior. Financial damage. Possible identity manipulation. We might have something here, she said, eyes glinting. She helped us file a civil lawsuit, together. A joint action against Jason Rivers. We submitted detailed affidavits, financial statements, screenshots, and even Lexi's video as indirect evidence of his manipulation. Amber also found that Jason had used the same fake employer name on loan applications in the past. That could amount to fraud. I won't lie, she said. These cases take time. But we have a strong shot. And even if we don't get all your money back, we can wreck his ability to scam anyone else again. I didn't care about the cash anymore. I cared about the consequences. We filed. And Jason. Oh, he noticed. Because not long after, I got another message. This one was frantic. Why are you trying to ruin me? Let it go, Kayla. We were just dumb kids. Please. No apology. No remorse. Just panic. And that's when I knew. He wasn't sorry. He was scared. Good. While Jason's world began to collapse under the weight of his own lies, Lexi tried once more to salvage hers. She showed up at my work. Unannounced. I walked into the office kitchen to grab coffee, and there she was, leaning against the counter like it was her place to be. Kayla, she said softly. I didn't know where else to go. I stared at her. You could have started with a mirror. She laughed bitterly. I messed up. I know that. But Jason played both of us. He lied to me too. I crossed my arms. You still ran off with him. You still posted that photo. You still took my savings, my car, and my dignity. I didn't take your car, he did. And you drove it in Cabo. Silence. She shifted, looking suddenly much smaller. He left me too, she whispered. Right after your charity event. Said the heat was too much. He drained my account next. I blinked. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered the years of trust she trashed. The sisterhood she used as a cover. The way she looked me in the eye and planned a betrayal behind my back. So what? I said. You came here for sympathy? I came here because I have no one else, she murmured. And I know you hate me. But I'm scared. She pulled something from her bag. A flash drive. What is that? Evidence, she said. Stuff I found on Jason. He kept a folder labeled failsafe. Names, fake IDs, bank details. I was going to delete it. But maybe you can use it. She placed it on the counter and walked out. I stood there for a long time, staring at that tiny piece of plastic. Lexi had crossed a line she couldn't uncross. But maybe she wasn't beyond usefulness. Maybe, just maybe, she'd help take Jason down once and for all. The flash drive sat on my desk like a loaded weapon. I didn't trust Lexi, but I was too smart to ignore what she brought me. I scanned it with my antivirus software, then opened the files. It was worse than I expected. There were spreadsheets with women's names, dates, account balances, even notes like emotional, easy to gain trust, slow to question, family tension, useful. He had a full system. Like he was running a business. Lexi wasn't lying. Jason kept everything. Backup IDs. Email accounts. Photos of checks. Even templates for fake pay stubs. I felt sick. But also validated. Jason didn't just con me. He targeted me. This was intentional. Strategic. Predatory. I called Amber, our lawyer. She gasped when she saw the files. This changes everything. Lexi's evidence helped us escalate our case. Jason could now face criminal charges, fraud, identity theft, and financial exploitation. Amber moved fast. Within 48 hours, she submitted a motion to include the new data in our joint complaint. The following week, Jason received a court summons. He tried to claim he didn't have a permanent address. Too bad we found him. Michelle's brother tracked Jason's digital footprint to a short-term rental under a fake name. And once Amber forwarded the documents to the district attorney's office, they opened an investigation. Jason was cornered. He couldn't run anymore. The court date was set. Lexi agreed to testify under immunity, admitting her part in exchange for full cooperation. She looked awful at the pre-trial hearing. Pale, nervous, like someone who finally realized there was no way to PR spin reality. I didn't feel pity. But I did feel closure. Jason, meanwhile, was smug. Even in the courtroom, he leaned back like none of it mattered. Until the judge brought up the word felony. Then he blinked. Amber leaned over and whispered, "Watch him try to settle." She was right. Jason's lawyer approached us after court with an offer, a public apology and $50,000 in restitution. I didn't even hesitate. No. Let it go to trial. I wanted the world to see what he really was. The trial wasn't a media circus, but it was close. A local reporter covered it as a human interest piece. The headline: Man accused of scamming multiple women faces charges after ex-fiancé strikes back. People from all over town came to watch. The courtroom was packed. Amber presented the evidence like a master storyteller, tying together Jason's pattern, our receipts, Lexi's flash drive, and Michelle's testimony. Jason's defense tried everything. She was a willing partner. They had a relationship built on mutual trust. He panicked. He made poor decisions, but he's not a criminal. But the jury didn't buy it. When they saw the spreadsheet titled Targets, several members physically recoiled. After 3 days of testimony, the jury returned a verdict: guilty. Jason was convicted of multiple counts of financial fraud and identity deception. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, plus mandatory restitution to all of us. I didn't cheer. I didn't cry. I just exhaled. Like I'd been holding my breath for months and finally remembered how to breathe. In the weeks that followed, I started receiving checks from the court's restitution fund. It wasn't the full amount, but it was something. More than money though, I gained something I couldn't measure: self-respect. Lexi disappeared after the trial. Deleted her socials. Moved to another state, according to mutuals. Good. Let her start over somewhere. As for me, I stayed. I kept building. I opened my own interior design studio, just a small place, but mine. The grand opening party? Held on the 1-year anniversary of what was supposed to be my wedding day. Liana made a toast. To Kayla, the only woman I know who turned heartbreak into a brand. Everyone laughed, but I just smiled. Because it wasn't a joke. I had turned betrayal into power. Scars into armor. Pain into fuel. And I was only getting started. Some stories end with a wedding. Mine ended with freedom. He thought he stole everything from me. But what he didn't expect was that I'd come back stronger, fiercer, and unstoppable. The end.